Hello YouTubers, it's Arya here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to review two medications that I have been taking. The first one is Wellbutrin, and that is an antidepressant. And in my experience, antidepressants haven't really worked for me, the majority of them that I've tried. But for some reason Wellbutrin works for me. It helps me so much. I've been on it on and off since last November, and it's for depression. And I feel like it gives me a little bit more energy, makes me feel a little bit happier, and it just works. And then the side effects that I did get in the first 2 weeks were stomach pain, nausea, maybe some sleepless nights, but not too many, and headaches. Now, I can't say that all of those side effects were because of the Wellbutrin, because I do have GI problems, and the food that I eat sometimes can cause stomach pain, and then the headaches could be from other medications that I take. So I can't say it was that one specifically, but it really has worked for me, especially with having ADHD. It's just hard to concentrate and control my impulsiveness and do things. It's just hard, right? So Wellbutrin helps me a lot. And I also take Adderall for ADHD, and so far it's been okay. I usually take Wellbutrin in the morning once a day. I take 150 milligrams extended release, usually when I wake up. So sometimes I'll wake up at 9:30 or 10, so I'll take that on an empty stomach, and then like an hour or two later, so maybe around noon, I'll take Adderall. So I usually try to take, sometimes I take Adderall on an empty stomach, but it might be a little harsh, so I try to take it with some food. And then with Adderall, you should not take it with citric food or acidic foods, because it can trigger nausea and vomiting, and also takes away from the effectiveness of the medication when you first take it. I think you have to wait an hour is what I was told. And for me, these medications have worked really well. In high school and college, I was always more of the quiet kid, and I've always had problems with my memory and paying attention and focusing, and just when reading a book or something, I have to reread the same page 5 times, and I really have to tell myself, okay, concentrate, and really have to set time limits. And when something goes out of routine, it messes up everything for me. So yeah, I forgot my point. I forgot where I was going there. But basically, these medications have really helped, and I've had a problem for a long time, but I think I really wasn't diagnosed until last year with ADHD, and I think it's because I was always so quiet, and I always had other issues that were more at a forefront, depression and anxiety. So it's just kind of I don't know, I feel like they have really helped a lot. And these medications can be life-changing for those, who do need them. The only thing with being on, let's say, Adderall is the stigma, and, kind of like the side eye that you get at the pharmacy. So I know that pharmacists are, professional providers, and, this is what I think. They wouldn't think I'm automatically misusing the medication, but sometimes I just get that that unsureness, like, oh my God, are they going to think I'm drug seeking or I'm misusing? Or what if they, see me and think that I'm fine and healthy and I'm just pretending that I need the medication? So that always sucks because it's not fair for those who do need the medication, right? And, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. My mind just has been a little bit off lately, but so that's hard, that's hard. I remember last year I started it February, no wait, March or April. Yeah, and I was on it for about 5 months, but then my health insurance changed and I had to find a new provider that accepted my health insurance. So I was so bummed because I knew, oh my God, I have to find someone new who's going to be, willing to prescribe this for me. And how am I going to prove that I have these issues? And like I said, the stigma behind it. So I did go to a local mental health center that has a psychiatrist there, and she literally took me off of all my medication that I was on. I was taking Buspar at the time. I was taking Adderall, and she uh, didn't. She refused to prescribe Adderall, and took me off Buspar. She prescribed duloxetine, and it was cold turkey. It was like she just didn't even let me taper off. I was taking 30 milligrams a day, and that's my prescription now. But I was so mad. I was like, oh my God, this lady is crazy, because you can't just do that. You can't just have someone quit cold turkey. And at that point, like, I was running low on medication, and I was starting to feel very like fatigued, and my anxiety was higher because I couldn't like concentrate, and I wasn't taking, the same dose either. So I switched. I just fired that lady. Fired. And I went somewhere else. I found like my primary care doctor, and at that point I was so close to having a breakdown, and I talked to him, and I really, try to say that, I was diagnosed with this, and I really need it, and it helps me, and I it's just, I just try to tell him what was happening. I mean, at that point things were really bad, like my anxiety, but then feeling like not able to function. It was just not good. And he looked at my record, and he said, okay, I'll go ahead. He was really nice about it. He said, I'll go ahead and give you a 1 month supply, and then while you get connected to a specialist. And then he said, if that doesn't work out, then come back and then I can keep prescribing it to you. But I do need to see you every 6 months, I think he said. So he was really, really nice about it. So I did end up finding like a specialist office, and that was great too, because they had me fill out this questionnaire, right, about my symptoms, and trust me, like almost all of those symptoms I had. And so that was pretty much the process. So I think the process is different when you are younger. I'm sure they have you go through all of these tests. Like, by younger, I mean underage, like not an adult. Or maybe if you're like in your 20s to 23, maybe providers are more, like they don't want to give you medication, and they really want to make sure that you do have this. But for me, I mean, I'm 28, and yeah, it was just questionnaires, and that was it. So it was, I don't want to say it was easy, because it wasn't. I mean, the lady who I fired told me that she didn't think I had it, but the medications were working so well for me. And for me, Adderall doesn't make me feel... No, I'm shooting a video. Yeah. Oh, can you close the door? Anyways, sorry about that. So, I don't know where I was at, and this video is getting long now. Oh yeah, so with that medication, I usually don't get super hyped. I get more concentrated, and if I take too much, then I get really sleepy, you know? It's just kind of been a miracle for me, really. Like, I feel like yeah, it's been a miracle. As far as side effects, I sometimes have high blood pressure. Sometimes I feel like my heart races. Now, I'm not sure if that's that medication or if it's the pain that I have, the chronic pain that I have, because my blood pressure really started getting high with the pain, not when I started the medication. Because when I started the medication, I was fine, but then when I started getting my chronic pain, you know, my blood pressure became a problem. But other than that, I feel like Wellbutrin and Adderall work really well together. And yeah, they help me a lot, I feel. So now I know this video has been like a little bit all over the place. The last time I took my Adderall was around, I want to say 11. Usually I take it twice a day, in the morning and then like around 2. I haven't taken it, but yeah, so I really don't have any issues. Like, things have been working pretty good. I've only been on it for a little bit more than a year, but like I said, I don't think it's the easiest medication to get prescribed. And there's always that cloud, like that stigma, like, oh, what if this person is judging me right now? And then I think the most awful thing is when, you know, you go to a provider and they refuse to prescribe it to you. Yeah, it's just because of the whole, you know, addiction and crisis we're going through. Same with opioid medication. You know, people who need it miss out sometimes, a lot of the times, because of this whole epidemic, and it sucks. It really does, and that needs to change too. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Feel free to leave down your experience with, you know, any antidepressants, or if you've taken Adderall or Wellbutrin. Feel free to tell me about your experiences below. I always like to hear about your experiences with these medications, just to learn more about how they can affect people differently. And if you guys have had any experiences where, you know, you've been taken off the medication or have been asked to taper down, yeah, feel free to tell me about those too, because I know how frustrating that can be and how invalidating and irritating it is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I rambled and was out of place sometimes, but that's my mind. It's hard. It's so hard. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.